Dear students, welcome to the economics class. I am Prasunna, HOD, Department of Economics. Today we will discuss about markets. In this topic, we will learn what is market and its definition, different types of markets and its classification, and also the factors determining the markets. First of all, where does the word market come from? The word market has been derived from the Latin word mercatus, 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 which means to trade or mercantise or a place where business is transacted. Okay, so the word market has been derived from the Latin word mercatus, that means to trade. Okay, next, generally the definition market is a place where commodities are bought and sold. This is the general definition. Market means a place where commodities are bought and sold. But in economics or in economic terms, the market does not refer to a particular place, but it refers to a commodity or commodities. So commodities are transacting from one place to another place. So in economic terms, the market does not refer to a particular place, mind it. It refers to a commodity or commodities transacting from one place to another place. So there are two important definitions. So one is Benham's definition and second one is Professor Carnot definition. These are very important definitions about market. So according to Benham, he says that the arrangement whereby sellers and buyers come in close touch with each other directly or indirectly. It is an systematic arrangement. A place is or a place has systematic arrangement whereby sellers and buyers come close touch with each other directly or indirectly, so that the prices obtained in one part of the market affect prices paid in another market. Okay, this is the first definition. Second definition is given by Professor Carnot. He is a French economist. He defined market as not any particular of any region, not any particular of any region or any place which buyers and sellers are in such free tend to equality easily and quickly. So he cannot focus on three words or three concepts: equality, easily and quickly. Equality in the sense, in this definition, equality means equality in product, equality in price. So this is the first characteristic. Second one, easily transported from one place to another place. Quickly you know very well. So there is no time duration. So quickly the goods are transacting from one place to another place. So Carnot focused on three concepts: easily, quickly, equality. Right? This is the Carnot definition. We have clear cut an idea about the definition of markets. So from the above definitions, three characteristic features of a market are clear. So now the point is characteristics of markets according to above definitions. So first one, market is a region or an area but not of a particular spot. But not of a particular spot. So second point, commercial contact between buyers and sellers. Commercial contact between buyers and sellers. Uh, but the buyers and sellers may not personally meet each other at a place. So they may enter into the transaction through any communication medium. Okay, right. Next, third characteristics. The same price must prevail for the same commodity at the same time. Same price. So, in these characteristics have taken from the Carnot's definition. The same price must prevail for the same commodity at the same time. So, what is that characteristics? Equality. So, the third characteristics taken from the above definition, that is Carnot's definition. So, in Carnot's definition, there are 3 points: equality, easily, and quickly. So, third point is equal to equality. Okay. Next point is classification of markets. So, here there is a flow chart there. Chart of market classification. So markets may be classified in 3 ways. First one is on the basis of area, size or place. On the basis of area or size or place. Second classification on the basis of time period. And third classification on the basis of competition. So first classification on the basis of area or size or place. So on the basis of area or size, according to the area covered, the market may be local, national or international in character. Local, national and international in character. First one, local market. A product has a local market when buyers and sellers of a commodity carry on business in particular locality. So, in this locality, or these goods are perishable and cannot be taken to distant places. So, perishable goods have local markets. So, here in addition, these commodities cannot be kept for a long period of time. It's very short period. For instance, the market for vegetables, milk, ice, etc. So, perishable goods. The example of perishable goods is vegetables, milk and ice, etc. So these goods are perishable and cannot be taken to distant places. So here a product has a local market when buyers and sellers of commodity carry on business in a particular locality. Okay. So these are the local markets. In local markets, they can sell perishable goods, vegetable, milk and ice. So second point, national market. A national market is said to exist when a commodity is demanded and supplied all over the country. All over the country. So here generally the market for durable goods and industrial goods cover the entire nation. So here the main products in national markets are wheat, sugar, cotton. Example, wheat, sugar, cotton. So third one, international market. So international market, international or world market. This is also called as world market. On the we are explaining about the classification of markets. So first classification on the basis of place, area or size. So first one is over, that is local market. Second one is national market. Third one is international market. It is also called as world market. It exists when the buyers and sellers of a product come from all over the world. Buyers and sellers of a commodity or of a product come from all over the world. Example, gold and silver, gold and silver. Okay, next one. This is the classification on the basis of area, size and place. Second classification on the basis of time period. On the basis of time period. Okay, right. Alfred Marshall introduced the time element or time analysis in different markets. Here, Alfred Marshall. So, Marshall is explaining about all the markets. So, he introduced the time element in the development of different markets. So Marshallian time analysis is very very important in this market in this concept. Okay, Marshall classified markets into four categories on the basis of time period. So first one is very short period market, and second one is a short period market, and third one long period market, and fourth one secular market or long period market. So first one, very short period market. Very short period market, this is also called as a market period. It is defined as one in which the supply is more or less fixed. It is a period of a day or a few days. Such markets generally exist for perishable commodities like fish, milk, vegetables. So this is very short period market. Next one, short period market. During the short period, demand and supply change a little but not much. This period is long to enough to allow only variable factors of production to be increased or to be decreased. We can change only supply of a commodity, demand for a commodity. There is a little change but not much. So this is called a short period. Next one, long period market. The long period market is one in which demand and supply conditions have plenty of time to adjust themselves. We can vary both variable, fixed and durable goods. So next one, secular period market. The secular period market is defined as one during which changes take place even in the factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital and organization. So we can change raw materials, we can change capital goods, we can change size of population. So these are the elements of secular market. Next one. Next classification on the basis of competition. There are three competitions. One is a perfect competition and second one is a imperfect competition. So perfect market or perfect competition. If competition is perfect in a market, the market is known as a perfectly competitive market. If competition is perfect in a market, the market is known as a perfectly competitive market. Here, buyers will compete among themselves to buy a commodity and sellers compete among themselves to sell the same. There will be same price for the same commodity all over the market. Same price, same commodity all over the market. Next one, imperfect market. If there are imperfections in the market, it is known as imperfectly competitive market. In an imperfect market, there will be different prices for the same commodity at the same time. In perfect competition, same commodity, same price all over the market. In imperfections, that means there are different prices for the different commodities or for the same commodity at the same time. So imperfect competition, it can be classified into four. First one is monopoly, only one seller is there, and second one is duopoly, two sellers, oligopoly, few sellers, and monopolistic competition, many sellers. So later we discussed about these markets. Okay. So next point is extent or size of the market, or what are the determinant factors of extent or size of the market. So there are several factors which determine the size or extent of the market for various commodities. So first point is wide demand. Wide demand. To have an extensive market, a commodity should have large and continuous demand. It has large and continuous demand. To have an extensive market, a commodity should have a large and continuous demand, not in fall in demand, it's a continuous demand. For example, oil. Oil has very wide demand. It has worldwide demand. So it is the if it, it has uh, large demand. So if the demand is small, the market also will be small. If the demand is small, the market also will be small. Example, books. BOOKS, books. Books in the regional languages have limited market. Regional languages, books in the regional languages have limited market, but books in the English have national and international market. Okay, understood? If the demand is small, the market also will be small. Example, books. Books in the regional market have limited market, but books in the English have national and international markets. This is called as wide demand. So wide demand, to have an extensive market, a commodity should have a large and continuous demand. Example, oil. If the demand is small, the market also will be small. Example, books. Books in regional languages have limited market, but books in English have national and international market. Next point, durability. Durability. So a commodity which is durable will have a wide market. If the commodity have durable, it has a wide market. Example, cotton, coal, gold. These are durable goods. Durability. So they have very wide market, isn't it? And they can be transported to distant places without any loss or damage. Without any loss or damage. So durability, the commodity has durability. It has a, if the commodity is durable, it will have a wide market. Example, gold, cotton, coal, etc. So it can be transported to distant places without any loss or damage. On the other hand, perishable goods like milk, eggs, fish, vegetables have only local markets. They have no large market or wide market. So sometimes, yeah, of course, in recent times, some of these are airlifted and also kept in cold storages so that they might not be come come to, and they can be sold in distant markets also nowadays. Okay, this is the second point. And third point is portability. Portable in the means in the sense small. In order to have a wide market, commodities should be easily transportable. Easily transported. If the good is portable, it can be easily transported. So industrial machinery, gold, cotton, textiles, etc. These are the portable goods. So they have transportability and they command worldwide market. Okay, worldwide market. So on the other hand, bulky articles of low value, bulky articles of low value like bricks, BRICKS, ఇటుకలు, bricks, sand, etc. So on the other hand, bulky articles of low value goods, bulky articles of low value. So the article should be bulky and it has low value. Example, bricks, sand have limited local market. They cannot be easily transported. They cannot be easily transported. On the other hand, in wide market, commodities should be easily transportable. Example, industrial machineries, machinery goods, gold, cotton, textiles. So this is the portability. And next very important point is cognizability. Cognizability. Cognizability in the sense some goods have recognizable, easily recognizable goods. So certain goods can be easily recognized. They are graded and differentiated from the rest of the goods. They are graded and differentiated from the rest of the goods. A buyer can place orders with confidence as the goods have exclusively trademarks. That goods have exclusive trademarks. TRADE. Trade marks, MARKS, trademarks. So those goods should have trademarks. Example, watches. So buyer can place orders for the supply of such graded and standardized goods to firms situated in far off places and mentioning the brand names. Okay, these goods have a wide market. Example, watches, radios, televisions, etc. Okay, branded. The branded items have trade marks. Okay, so these are the cognizability. This is the main important point in this concept is cognizability. Okay, right. You understood the lesson? So I gave you some questions. First one, what is market? Explain the classification of markets. This is the first question. And second one, what is market? Explain the factors which determine the extent of the market. What is market? Explain the factors which determine the extent of the markets.